Well guys, now we'll swing to me 019 model bike. Unfortunately I haven't got a red one, so we'll just have to settle for this gunmetal version. It would have been better I suppose to do the comparison if I would have had the 019 in red, and you would have been looking at 019, 018, both the same colour, better idea, but they're not available here, or they weren't when I bought this one, so the choice is this one. So straight off you should be able to tell that it's jacked up higher, easily jacked up higher in the front if you compared the previous red to this. That would be the first feature you would look at. You swing to the exhaust and see you've got the dual outlet. Actually I really don't mind that dual outlet. You've got your 19-inch front wheel. If you look at the beak below the headlight, definitely not as pronounced as what's in the earlier model. A lot better compared to the previous. When you're actually sitting on the bike, it doesn't seem quite as bulky up in this front fuel area with the add-ons of the plastic. Seems a little bit more compact to me. I find this little support here would be really good if you want to run your GPS or something off that. That'd be a cool little item to have. I don't think the other one had it, I can't remember now if it had that or not, but fact is it's there now, and I'd have to check back on my other video on the bike, but you know, I think you gotta get a fair bit of work for that little handy item. Started off first with, it's got a new Radiator Shroud design, which has got air vents and directs air away from the rider. So I don't think I took it in the other video, but you can definitely see the venting down the side here. It's more plastic. Compared to the 18 model, you've got LED headlight, LED taillight, and LED indicators all round. In the engine there, the fuel injector, the spray pattern for it has been narrowed. Apparently it's supposed to give it a more linear power run. There's also a new rear shock fitted for better rear wheel tracking. Also the front area of the seat's been shaved in this area here, to allow shorter riders to get a better chance to get their feet on the ground. The new motor is supposed to have something like a 3 or 4% increase in torque, which gives better power from 3,000 to 7,000 revs, but I don't know, it may, or it's fairly hard to pick 4%. You know, if you're getting 10 or 20 I think you'd pick it quite easy, but 3 or 4% is pretty hard. And also there's new valve timing thrown in on this model, and that's supposed to increase roll-on torque. Now if we look back under the seat area, they've also fitted a smaller battery so they can have a little bit more room for the air filter. I don't know what to think about that. It may be a good idea or may not. It depends on whether these bikes have battery problems, but you would have thought maybe they could have tossed in the lithium. They've also fitted a new crank position sensor, which is supposedly going to give it much more linear power. Well, either way I find the power delivery really good, so like when I'm out there going along and put throttle on at top gear and that, I can just take off with no drama whatsoever. So the pity is it's been 7 months since I've been on the other bike, so it's hard to do a comparison, and and I really can't guess on it because I'd like to keep the facts pretty straight. They say they've also improved the gear shifter mechanism to give you a more positive change whether you're changing up or down, and up from my experience I reckon the gearbox in this is pretty good and the change is perfect, and I haven't struck any false neutrals or any drama whatsoever. So once again, a bit hard to compare with the old bike because it's too long ago to remember what the gear changed, and I've had a few bikes since then anyway, so I think we had 4 or 5 bikes since then. With a more sportier dual outlet exhaust, which has got quite a nice little burble on downshift, raising a bit of crackling too, so between it, you know, it's a lot different than what I recall in the other bike. Now when combined with the slipper clutch, they've also improved the clutch pull by 45%, which now is extremely easy. So apart from this 19-inch wheel, the front steering caster was reduced by 1 degree. We also have an increase in suspension travel from 0.4 at the front to 1.2 at the rear. Also here in Oz we get the ABS version, and the ABS version for this year has upgraded modulators. And now while I've been riding it, I think the braking system's good. It was a little bit spongy in that first one I took off and rode the first 40 or 50 kilometres, but the brakes have bedded in now and I think they've got plenty of bite, so the ABS system as far as I'm concerned works alright on this bike. Apparently the turning circle radius on this model has been reduced by 8 inches in a, I suppose from lock to lock, turning around either way. That it'd be pretty hard to pick if that's much of an improvement or not, because when I move it around here under the veranda I can't notice any difference, but you know, it could be there. The windscreen's supposed to be increased in size by 20 millimetres, but you know, if you look at 20 millimetres, that'd only be something like that. So once again, pretty hard to pick. Now it's pretty hard to say that I can't compare it to the other one at the moment, but it says it's got a more tapered style handlebars with this model, plus the handlebars are actually rubber mounted to absorb vibration coming through, so it could work alright. I did find that in the beginning, if anyone watched the video, I did mention that there was a little bit of vibe running through the bars, but not threatening or anything like that, and a little bit in the peg, so it's calmed down a bit since then, so I haven't went any further with that idea talking about it, because I'd like to, at least if I've got a problem, be able to have one that stays there and I can talk about. The seat rails are redesigned now for a nicer lighter look. So probably won't affect me much because I never have anyone on the back. The dash display is now slightly large. You got your upshift display if you want to for what gear you're in. So that concludes the look of the bike. I hope you found a few of these add-ons what's been put to the 019 bike interesting. As a rider of either bike, I would say for some reason this new model doesn't feel as big to sit on and ride compared to the previous model. Could be all in the mind or not, but it just doesn't seem as big in this area here, like sitting there and looking over the tank area. Maybe the bearing here has been reduced in size, I don't know, but when I first got on one of these 7 months ago, I thought, geez, this is a fair sized bike, where second time around when I got on this one I had no trouble whatsoever and never even thought much about it. So it appears to me that they may reduce the bulkiness around the tank area or something like that, and it doesn't seem quite as big to sit on and ride. So others may be able to comment on that one.